Barkowitz. Does anyone know Chris Barkowitz, the patient that was just sent to federal prison in Denver? If you're not familiar with his case, definitely get online. And this is interesting, he was raided by the DEA after going on 9 News and telling about his story, saying, I'm growing plants for patients. And so the DEA comes in, raids his place. What's interesting is there have been a couple other raids in Denver and Colorado. And I'll give you another example where somebody who had over 500 plants got raided and they walked away. So I don't know what differentiates somebody who is a business person growing plants and an individual who's a caregiver growing plants. They're both helping patients. They're both helping you and I. So sitting through his sentencing and trial, the man was facing 60 years in prison. He took a plea bargain. Now mind you, I went to trial, I won my case, but it was a scary thing. Very few of us, and I'm not saying I have the brass balls or whatever, but we really got to stand up for what we believe in. I let my faith drive me and tell me I need to protect myself. This is about life or death for me. It's liberty or death, ultimately. I have to have my liberty, or I'm going to die on pharmaceuticals. A year and a half ago, I was on Oxycontin, Tramadol, Neurontin, Vicodin. We can do it on this list. We all know this, right? I don't take pharmaceuticals anymore. I use cannabis. I was a professor for 6 years in Denver. I've done all sorts of projects for our government. I've worked at National Renewable Labs on ethanol cellulose. I've worked on plane crashes, trying to figure out what happened. I've worked on the closure of Rocky Flats, our nuclear facility. After my experience of being raided and acquitted, I'm here to help every single one of you because I now understand what it did for me. What cannabis has done for me is opened my, and I don't mean this in terms of I smoked it, it opened my mind up. I smoked it, and I realized it wasn't as bad as I was told it was. Then I started to question everything else. What else are they telling me that's not true? So what that did to me, it put me from somebody who was on the couch complaining about stuff to somebody who I am today who's participating in our system. That's why I say participate, participate, participate. We are the government, not them. We are. The reason we don't like what's going on is because we're not participating in it. You want to make a difference? Come with me to the Capitol. See me talk to our senators and representatives in Denver. You'll see some big change going on there. I'll give you an example. Just yesterday, Colorado has been threatening a DUI. That was, or Joey, Hester Perez, Miko's son. He has autism. He was 46 pounds last year. Almost died. His doctor said he was starving to death because of all the medications he was taking. A year later, he's 110 pounds. He said, Mom, for the first time. He plays with his brother. He doesn't smash his toys on the wall. He's a good boy. He's out in Colorado right now. I'm going out there tomorrow. I'm going to go hang out with the Normal Convention that's out there for 3 days and hang out with Ziggy Marley hopefully tonight, or tomorrow night. That's a man to talk to. That guy really knows his stuff. But reach out. Richard Belzer, Montel Williams. There are some amazing people out there that are starting to really recognize how much influence they have to speak to everybody about how this helps them. So yes, a lot of people might be against this as a medication, but how many of you know that we have what's called an endocannabinoid system in our body? I make cannabis in my body. Just like Henry mentioned earlier before, he's going to well, maybe he won't, but his wife is going to breastfeed Xena. She'll get endocannabinoids through the breast milk. It helps regulate and stimulate their appetite. It helps actually suppress their appetite when they're done eating. It helps them sleep. It helps connect all these dendrites, these funny things in your head, like create communication and memory and all this stuff. It was in the New York Times, yeah. It was on the National Cancer Institute. The government recognizes this. Just like Henry Hemp pointed out earlier, in 2003, the Health and Human Services Department of our country patented cannabinoids and the use of cannabinoids in Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, Huntington's, diabetes. Wait a minute. All these things that we're suffering for. Now think about this for a second. Think back 100 years. Do your research. Today we have cancer rates of 1 almost in 2, 2.5. 100 years ago it was 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000 actually.